Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're going deep on something that unfortunately affects just about everyone online.
Yeah.
Phishing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're listening because you want to know how these scams actually work right.
Right.
And, more importantly, how to avoid them.
Yes.
And we're going to get into all that.
Absolutely.
We're going to give you that aha moment that helps you spot a phishing attempt a mile away.
Yeah, because it's not just about, knowing what phishing is. Like you said, it's about understanding those tricks the scammers use and how to outsmart them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's start with a scenario.
Okay.
Imagine you're just at home, chilling after a long day.
Relaxing.
Yeah, just you get a text from your bank, and it says there's been suspicious activity on your account.
Oh.
They ask you to click a link to verify your info.
Oh, yeah.
What's your gut reaction?
Well, my gut reaction, honestly, for a lot of people, that triggers panic right away. You feel that, like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Right.
And that's exactly what scammers are exploiting, They're hoping that you're going to react with fear and urgency.
Exactly, that sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I got to take care of this right now.
Right now. Right.
So that's a big red flag.
Big red flag.
Okay.
But let's back up for a second.
Okay.
What exactly is phishing like in the big picture of cybercrime?
So phishing, you can think of it as like the digital equivalent of a con artist.
Okay.
So they are trying to trick you into giving up valuable information like your passwords,
Right.
your credit card numbers,
Mm-hmm.
and just like a con artist, they use bait that looks appealing,
Okay.
trustworthy.
Yeah.
That's where the name phishing comes from.
Oh, interesting.
They're phishing for your data.
Okay, so they're using like a lure.
Yeah,
Trying to get you to bite
exactly.
and give up the goods.
Give up the goods, yeah.
And that bait can come in many forms, right? It's not just emails anymore.
It's not just emails anymore, no. It's texts, it's social media messages, even phone calls.
Even phone calls, it's evolving, yeah.
Wow.
But understanding like the psychology behind these scams can really help you stay ahead.
Okay.
So for example, one type of phishing called spear phishing
Spear phishing.
is very effective because it's personalized.
So they're targeting specific individuals.
Specific individuals, exactly. So instead of sending these like generic messages out to thousands of people,
Yeah.
they're doing their research.
Wow.
They might target you based on your job, your interests, even like information they gather from your social media profile.
So it's like a tailor-made scam.
Is
Crafted just for you.
Yeah, it's scary.
That sounds really hard to detect.
It can be.
Yeah.
Imagine like you get an email that appears to be from your boss
Okay.
asking you to urgently transfer funds to a new account.
Oh, gosh.
The tone, the language, everything seems legit because they've studied how your boss communicates.
That's scary.
It-
I can see how people would fall for that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Have you ever seen a spear phishing campaign that was like particularly clever or memorable?
One that comes to mind was targeted at employees of a tech company.
Okay.
And what the scammers did was they created a fake logging page for the company's internal communications platform.
Oh, wow.
And it looked identical to the real thing. They even used the company's branding
Oh, my God.
and security certificates.
Wow.
And then they sent emails to employees claiming there was a critical security update and they had to log in to avoid account suspension.
And people fell for it.
Unfortunately, yes.
Wow.
They were able to steal login credentials from a lot of employees, and they were able to access
Sensitive data.
sensitive company data. Yes.
That's a perfect example of how effective these scams can be. They prey on our trust.
Yeah.
Our instinct to respond quickly
Oh.
to something that sounds urgent.
Especially when it appears to be from a legitimate source.
Yeah, exactly. So knowing that spear phishing exists, what can we do to protect ourselves? It sounds like even tech-savvy people
Sure.
can get fooled.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awareness is the first line of defense.
Right.
But we'll talk about specific strategies later.
Okay.
For now, let's move on to another type of phishing
Okay.
that is becoming really common.
Okay.
It's called smishing.
Smishing.
Yeah, have you heard of this?
Isn't that phishing through text messages?
It is, exactly. Remember that scenario we talked about?
Yeah, with the bank text.
With the bank text that's smishing.
Okay.
And it's particularly effective because we're so used to getting, important notifications on our phone.
Great. Bills and,
Appointments.
two-factor authentication.
Oh, that, yeah.
Everything comes through our phone.
Yeah,
So how can you tell the difference between like a legitimate text from your bank
sure.
and a smishing attempt?
I mean, they can spoof phone numbers, right?
They can spoof phone numbers.
Yeah.
But there are some signs.
Yeah. First, look at the language.
Okay.
Is it full of typos or grammatical errors?
Okay.
Legitimate companies, they have professional editors
Right.
who review their communication.
So bad grammar's a red flag.
Red flag, yeah.
What else?
Pay really close attention to the link that they're asking you to click.
Okay.
So hover over it without actually clicking
Yeah.
to see the full URL. Does
Right.
it match the official website of your bank?
Right.
Smishing links, they often use shortened URLs or domains that look similar to the real thing,
Right.
but they have subtle misspellings or different extensions.
So double checking the link is crucial.
It is, yeah. It's like looking before you leap.
Yeah. Digitally speaking.
Yeah, digitally speaking, right.
What are some other common smishing tactics we should be aware of? Besides like the fake bank alerts?
Oh, they can get creative.
Okay.
You might get a text saying you've won a prize, but you have to click a link to claim it.
Ugh, I hate those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they might impersonate a delivery company saying there's a problem with your package. Okay.
And you need to reschedule delivery by clicking a link.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I've seen that one.
They even play on our emotions.
Emotions.
Like they might send a text pretending to be from a friend
Oh, wow.
or a family member saying they're in trouble and need you to send money urgently.
Wow, that's cruel.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And they know that our natural instinct is to help loved ones in need.
Yeah.
So they exploit that emotional vulnerability.
Yeah. That's just messed up.
Yeah, it is.
So it's a good reminder to be cautious,
Absolutely.
especially when it comes to requests that involve money or personal information.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to reach out to the supposed sender through a different channel.
Right.
Like call your friend directly
yeah.
or contact the company through their official website to verify.
Exactly. Just double check.
Always double check. Yeah,
Don't just take it at face value.
exactly.
Yeah. Little skepticism can go a long way.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we've covered spear phishing and smishing.
You mentioned that phishing can also happen through phone calls,
Yes.
right? What is that called again?
That is called vishing.
Phishing.
Short for voice phishing.
Okay.
Essentially the same concept as email or text phishing,
Mm-hmm.
but the scammer is using their voice
Oh, okay.
to gain your trust and trick you.
Gotcha. So they're calling you up pretending to be from your bank,
Yeah.
the IRS,
Yep.
tech support,
Tech support, all those.
all the above.
Yeah.
So what are some common phishing scenarios and how can you tell if it's a scam?
We'll get into the details of how to spot and avoid phishing
Oh, yeah?
in the next part of our deep dive.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a fascinating world
Yeah, I bet.
of social engineering and deception.
I'm sure.
And knowing these tricks can really empower you to stay safe.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so phishing.
Wishing.
It's like those scam calls we all get,
Yeah.
but on a whole other level.
Yeah, it's like a whole other level.
You're saying these scammers, they can sound really convincing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
They use psychological tactics, to build rapport, to create a sense of urgency,
Yeah.
even fear sometimes.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Can you give us an example, like paint us a picture of what a typical phishing call might sound like?
Sure. So imagine your phone rings and the caller ID says it's from your bank's fraud department.
Okay.
The person on the other end sounds very professional,
Okay.
concerned,
Mm-hmm.
and they tell you they've detected suspicious activity on your account.
Oh, no.
And they ask you to confirm some recent transactions.
Okay.
They might even have some of your basic information already,
Oh, gosh.
like your name, your address, which makes them seem even more credible.
Right. See, that's what I find so unsettling.
Yeah.
If they already know some of my info, it's easy to think, okay, this is legit.
Right. You just assume.
How do you, catch those subtle cues
Yeah.
that it's actually a scam?
One thing to listen for is how they handle pushback. So let's say you question why they're calling. Instead of sending a secure message through your online banking portal,
Right.
a legitimate representative would understand that concern
Mm-hmm.
and explain, their procedures.
Yeah.
But a scammer, on the other hand, might get defensive
Right.
or try to pressure you even more.
So they're looking for that instant compliance.
Exactly. Yeah. If you hesitate
Yeah.
at all, they might get pushy.
Okay. What other red flags should we listen for during a phone call?
Be very wary of requests for information that your bank would never ask for over the phone.
Yep.
Like your full social security number, your
Yeah.
online banking password.
Right.
Legitimate institutions have very strict security protocols to protect that information.
Yeah.
They wouldn't ask you to reveal it verbally.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
What about technical tactics? Can scammers manipulate caller ID to make it look like they're calling from a specific number?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's called spoofing, and it's surprisingly easy to do. So don't rely solely on caller ID to verify a call.
Gotcha.
If you're ever unsure, hang up and call the organization back.
Okay.
Using the official phone number
Good tip.
listed on their website or your account statements.
Yeah. Don't use the number they give you.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's like taking back control.
Taking back
You're not letting
consent.
them dictate the terms of the conversation.
Right.
Okay. We've talked about red flags, but what are some proactive steps we can take to minimize the risk of becoming a phishing victim in the first place?
One simple but really effective measure is to register your phone number
Okay.
with the National Do Not Call Registry.
Oh.
Now, it won't eliminate all scam calls,
Right.
but it can significantly reduce calls from telemarketers.
So it's like filtering out some of the names.
Exactly. It filters out the noise so you can really spot the scams.
Focus on the real threats.
Yeah.
What about those robocalls?
Real bro call.
The ones that try to sell you something or claim you've won a prize.
Right, right.
Do those fall under phishing?
They can.
Okay.
While many robocalls are just annoying,
Yeah.
some can be phishing attempts in disguise.
Okay.
So, for example,
Yeah.
you might get a robocall saying there's a problem with your credit card,
Oh, yeah.
and it urges you to press a number to speak to a representative,
Oh, gosh.
and then that representative might try to trick you.
So the robocall is just the bait.
It is. It's just to lure you in.
Wow. To a live conversation with a scammer.
Exact.
That's sneaky.
Yeah.
So ignore those robocalls.
Ignore them.
Have it.
Yeah, don't press any buttons, don't respond, hang up,
Okay.
and report the call to the FTC.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if a real person calls
Okay.
and you're not sure if it's legit? Is there a way to verify their identity without giving away your own information?
One technique is to ask them questions that a legit representative would know,
Okay.
but a scammer wouldn't.
Okay.
So you could ask about the balance of your last statement
Okay.
or the date of your last transaction.
Gotcha.
A real rep would have access to that.
Yeah.
A scammer would likely stumble.
Yeah. Or try to change the subject.
Exactly.
So you're turning the tables, making them prove that they're legit.
You are. Yeah, it's a good technique.
I like that verbal judo.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that you have the right to be skeptical.
Absolutely.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
Don't feel pressured
Don't feel pressured,
to
Matt.
give up info you're not comfortable sharing.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is all great advice for dealing with phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
But let's zoom out a little bit
Okay.
and talk about some broader strategies for protecting ourselves online in general.
Sure.
What are some fundamental principles that can help us avoid phishing scams,
Yeah.
regardless of the platform or tactic used?
One of the most important things is to develop that healthy sense of skepticism.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
don't blindly trust any unsolicited messages or requests for information,
Right.
even if they appear to be from a trusted source.
Yeah, my mom always said, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like having that little inner voice saying, hold on, let's double check this
Yes. Always double check.
before we do anything.
Yeah.
And speaking of double checking, always verify the source
Yes.
of any message
Absolutely.
or request that seems suspicious.
Yeah.
Don't click on links in emails or texts.
Yeah.
Go directly to the company's official website
Yes.
or contact their customer service
Mm-hmm.
through a phone number, is legit.
Yes. Always go to the source directly.
Great. It's like going straight to the horse's mouth.
Right.
What other proactive steps can we take?
Enable two-factor authentication on all your accounts that offer it.
Okay, two-factor authentication.
Yes.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it adds an extra layer of security.
Okay.
It requires you to enter a code from your phone or your email
Right.
in addition to your password when logging in.
Okay.
So even if they get your password, they can't get in.
So it's like having a double lock on your digital front door.
Exactly. Yeah, double lock.
And while we're on the topic of password,
Passwords, yes.
make sure you're using strong, unique passwords for each of your online accounts.
Absolutely.
Don't use the same password for multiple accounts.
No.
And avoid easy-to-guess passwords like your birthday or pet's name.
Yeah, those are the first things that hackers will try.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, no more password 123.
No more password 123.
But seriously, how do you come up with strong, unique passwords for all your accounts and remember them?
Right.
It's mind-boggling.
That's where password managers come in.
Password managers, okay.
They can generate and store strong passwords for you.
Okay,
So you only have to remember one master password.
that makes sense.
Yeah, they encrypt your passwords, they store them securely, so you don't have to worry about writing them down.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of password managers, but I've always been a little hesitant to use one.
Yeah, I understand.
It feels a little risky putting all your eggs in one basket,
Right, it feels like that.
digitally speaking.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts on that? Are password managers truly safe?
it's a valid concern.
Yeah. And it's important to choose a reputable password manager
Okay.
that uses strong encryption and has a good track record.
Yeah.
But when used correctly, they can significantly enhance your security.
Okay.
They eliminate the need to reuse passwords or write them down,
Right.
which are very common ways people compromise their accounts.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, so password managers can be a valuable tool in our security arsenal.
Yeah, definitely.
But what about those built-in security features that some email providers
Yeah.
and web browsers offer? Are those worth using?
Absolutely.
Okay.
A lot of email providers and web browsers now have built-in anti-phishing tools
Okay.
that can help identify suspicious emails and websites.
Oh.
They can analyze messages and websites for, telltale signs,
Okay.
like suspicious links or misspellings in domain names.
So they're like our digital phishing detectors.
Exactly. They're like your phishing
I
detector.
like that.
And they're constantly being updated
Oh,
with
wow.
new information about phishing tactics. That's good.
So they can stay ahead of the game.
Yeah, the scammers are always changing their game.
They're always adapting.
Okay, so we've got two-factor authentication,
Mm-hmm.
strong passwords, password managers, and anti-phishing tools.
Yes.
Anything else we can do to kind of bolster our defenses?
Antivirus and anti-malware programs,
Yeah, are those still relevant?
they are.
Okay.
While they primarily focus on protecting your devices from viruses
Right.
and other malicious software, they can also play a role in preventing phishing attacks.
Okay.
Some of these programs have features that can detect and block phishing websites
Oh, cool.
or prevent you from downloading malicious attachments.
Gotcha. So they're like our digital immune system,
Exactly. They're like your digital immune system.
helping to fight off those nasty digital infections.
Yes, and just like our immune system,
Yep.
they need to be kept up to date to be effective.
Right.
So make sure you're regularly updating
Okay. Cool.
your software.
So it's all about staying vigilant and keeping our defenses strong.
Absolutely.
But let's face it,
Yeah.
even with all these precautions, there's always a chance we could fall victim to a phishing scam.
It happens.
What happens then? What should we do if we realize we've been hooked?
That's a crucial question, and we'll dive into the steps you can take to mitigate the damage
Okay.
and recover from a phishing attack in the final part of
Uh-huh.
our deep dive.
Awesome.
It's important to remember that even if you fall victim to a scam,
Yeah.
you're not alone,
Yeah?
and there are resources to help you get back on track.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk damage control.
Okay.
What's the first thing you should do if you realize you've fallen for one of these phishing scams?
The most important thing is to change your passwords.
Okay.
And I mean all of them.
Wow.
Any account that you think might have been compromised,
Okay,
the sooner the better.
so password panic button engaged.
Yes.
Got it.
Because the longer you wait, the more damage they can do.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what if, let's say I clicked a bad link,
Okay.
maybe downloaded something I shouldn't have?
Mhm.
What then?
If you think you might have malware, then run a full scan
Okay.
with your antivirus and anti-malware software.
So a digital detox from my computer.
Yeah, exactly. A digital detox.
Okay, got it. But what about the information they might have already stolen?
Right.
I'm already thinking worst case scenario.
I know it's easy to get overwhelmed,
Yeah.
but there are steps you can take.
Like-
If you think your financial information is at risk, contact your bank
Oh.
and your credit card companies immediately. They have
Uh-oh.
teams that can help you freeze your accounts,
Wretched.
monitor for suspicious activity,
Mhm.
and even dispute those fraudulent charges.
That's a release to know.
Yeah.
So contact the banks, lock down the accounts.
Yeah.
What about my identity?
Right.
I've heard horror stories about identity theft.
Yeah. It's a serious concern.
Yeah.
It's wise to take precautions. Consider placing a fraud alert
Oh.
or a security freeze on your credit reports.
Okay.
This can make it harder for scammers to open new accounts in your name.
So it's like putting a shield around my identity,
Yeah, exactly. Like a shield.
making it harder for the scammers to misuse my information.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if the damage is already done
Right.
and I'm dealing with identity theft, are there resources out there that can help me?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
There are organizations like the Identity Theft Resource Center
Okay.
that offer guidance and support to victims.
Okay. That's good to know there are lifelines out there.
There are, yeah.
But let's talk prevention.
Okay.
We've already covered a lot of tips and tricks.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we can do to kind of stay ahead of the scammers?
Education is key.
Okay.
Stay informed
Okay.
about the latest phishing tactics.
Mm-hmm.
Read articles, follow cybersecurity experts on social media.
Yeah.
Maybe sign up for some newsletters
Okay.
from reputable sources that provide updates on emerging threats.
So it's not just about learning the basics. It's about staying up to date
Exactly. Staying up to date is key.
on the latest trends.
Yeah, because they're always innovating.
Yeah.
So you got to stay ahead.
Like, it's almost like ongoing training for your digital defense skills.
It is. It's like training.
The more you know, the better equipped you'll be.
Exactly.
What about those too good to be true offers?
Ah, yes.
The ones that are like, you've won a lottery you never entered.
Right.
Or like a crazy discount on something.
Yeah, those are red flags for sure.
Those always set off alarm bells for me.
Yeah, trust your instincts on that one.
Okay.
If something sounds too good to be true,
Yeah.
it probably is.
My mom was right.
Your mom was right. Yeah.
So trust your instincts.
Yeah.
Verify everything.
Answering.
Stay informed.
Stay informed. Those are the golden rules
Golden rules of online safety.
of online safety. Yes.
And we can all be part of the solution, right?
Absolutely.
So to our listeners,
Yeah.
stay vigilant, stay informed,
Yes.
and don't be afraid to question anything that seems suspicious.
Yeah, if you have any doubts, reach out
Yeah.
to a trusted cybersecurity resource.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to cybersecurity.
It is.
Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of phishing.
It was my pleasure.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep diving deep.
Yes, keep diving.